بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. We are discussing still infallibility of the prophets, and today inshallah we will discuss about infallibility of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Well, there are many ayahs regarding the life history of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some people might think that these ayahs which discuss about the Prophet is against his infallibility. Our belief is that the Prophet and all prophets alayhim afdalu salatu wassalam are infallible in many stages. They are infallible in a stage of taking revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wahi which comes to them, there is no mistake. Some people might think that how the Prophet knows that this is revelation, it is not satanic inspiration. Well, he knows very well, because already his high spirituality, he understands that this is a revelation, and what he sees is an angel rather than Satan. So that is one stage. Whatever he takes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as revelation is correct, and there is no mistake in it. The second one is he is infallible in understanding what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said to him. He has no doubt what Allah has said, whose meaning is like this or like that. If he has doubt, then he will question the angel that what is meant here. Like when he say, بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ, tell the people about what has been revealed to you from your Lord. He asked Angel Jibreel about what? I tell the people about what? I told the people about a prayer, fast, hajj, everything. Say about Ali, imamat of Imam Ali alayhi salam. That is why here Ibn Abbas, he writes, بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ فِي Ali. Ali is between two brackets, of course, the name is not in the Holy Quran, but he said, in name of Imam Ali came by the revelation itself, not separately. He said, you tell this, and this is about Imam Ali, not about something else. That is why Ibn Abbas used to mention tafsir with the Holy Quran. He said, بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ عَلِي فِي عَلِي. So what I mean, if there is anything to be inquired, the Prophet will inquire and will ask that what is meant, So that is one stage, taking revelation and understanding it. The second stage is by saying it to people and practicing it. When the Holy Prophet delivered the message to people and tell them, there is no mistake. And when he practiced Islam, he will not do any mistake, because after all he is uswa hasana. He is a good example for people to follow. If he do mistake, then the people naturally are bound to do mistake. So that is not possible about the Prophet. And the third stage is about implementing Sharia in life, in his social and political and economic activities in life. When he lives with the people as a ruler of a Muslim state, he is also infallible. So not only in taking revelation infallible, and not only in delivering the message he is infallible, but also in implementing all Islamic rules and regulations in life. In life, maybe it is an economic law, maybe social law, maybe political law. What different Islamic laws are there? That is what we believe. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, literally in the Holy Quran, has mentioned about infallibility of the prophets, in name of they are mukhlasin, they are a chosen one, they are mujtabeen. Also Allah has chosen them. they were sincere, they were honest, and so on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised the high position of the prophets. However, some of the ayahs some people will say, no, this does not mean that he is infallible. We are going to read some of them. The first one in Surah Al-Isra, ayah 73, 74, 75. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن كادوا ليفتنونك عن الذي أوحينا إليك لتفتري علينا غيره وإذا لاتخذوك خليلا. The translation, and surely they had purpose to turn you away from that which we have revealed to you, that you should forge against us other than that, and then they would certainly have taken you for a friend. ولولا أن ثبتناك لقد كدت تركن إليهم شيئا قليلا. And had it not been that we had already established you, you would certainly have been near to incline to them a little. إذن لأذقناك ضعف الحياة وضعف الممات ثم لا تجد لك علينا نصيرا. In that case, we would certainly have made you to taste a double punishment in this life and a double punishment after death. Then you would not have found any helper against us. Well, different translators naturally may translate in a different wording, but generally here the Holy Quran said about the mushrikeen, the people of Mecca, the idol worshippers, that they tried themselves, that there was purpose to turn the Prophet away of what has been revealed to him, because they were idol worshippers, and they had 360 idols respected by them, the Arab tribes coming in pilgrimage every year to respect and worship the idols. And now suddenly the Prophet comes and tells them that these idols are useless and they have no spirit, no talk, no effect, nothing, and have to be broken, to be thrown out naturally. They will not agree with that. So they try through different ways. They tried to give him money. They said that if you are claiming to be a prophet for purpose of getting money, we'll give you as much as money you like. If your purpose is to be a leader, we'll make you leader among us. If your purpose to boost in front of women, we'll give you the most beautiful wife, then you can get and marry. So what is your purpose? So they thought that he is bringing revelation and antagonizing the idols because he has some material gain. So they have to argue with him and have a dialogue. Maybe they can convince him to stop abusing the idols and accept their offer. So here the ayah said, and they كادوا ليفتنونك, in order to tell them other than what we have revealed and to forge certain things so that they will take you as a friend for them. And the second ayah, ayah 74, وَلَوْلَا أَن ثَبَّتْنَاكَ. See again here the word لَوْلَا. And had it not been that we had already established you, you would certainly have been near to incline to them a little. First of all, it was tarkan. Tarkan means just inclination, not following. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here actually talk about infallibility of the Prophet, not as they said against infallibility of the Prophet. Allah tell the Prophet, if it was not that we already has established you, we gave you clear vision, we gave you clear knowledge, we made you infallible. Otherwise, in such difficult cases, when you have tough position and the people are pressurizing you, you would have inclined toward them. But because already we have made you infallible, you never inclined to them. See, lawla, as we explained it about infallibility of a Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. When you say, if it was not that a guest came to my house, I would have came to the lecture, for example. This means I came to the lecture or I did not come. Literally, it means I did not come. Why I did not come to the lecture or to the mosque? Because I had a guest. So coming of the guest, presence of one means the second one did not happen. This is harfu wujudin limtina. Existence of something which made a negation of something else. So because of existence of establishing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in making him, his prophet, as infallible, because this was there, so it was impossible to incline toward them. That inclination did not happen. Not that it happened. No, it did not happen. Why it did not happen? Why the prophet was very strong in his faith? He did not even incline to all the pressure of people of Mecca. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made him infallible. Because Allah gave him clear vision. So this actually shows that he was infallible. Not that, well, he tried little and he inclined toward them, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by force stopped him to go wrong. So it is not as we say that, I mean, they argue, it is not as you say, that even he has no intention or no inclination, because here they said there is inclination. No, actually here there is negation of inclination because of a presence of infallibility, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thabbatahu, established him, and that was there. The third ayah, in that case we would certainly have made you to taste a double punishment in this world and thereafter. That is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if that would have happened, this would have been the result. But that did not happen. The inclination of the Prophet did not happen because he was infallible, and naturally he will not taste the punishment here or in the hereafter. Mentioning it in the Holy Quran does not mean that the Holy Quran approved that. So put it on possibility. Like Holy Quran said, if there are other than God, if لو كان فيهما آلهة إلا الله, if there was a God other than Allah, it would have perished or got disturbance and confusion. So it does not mean if there are other than Allah that yes, it is possible to be another God other than Allah. But this is only for sake of argument, a remote possibility. If there would have been second God, then the rules and regulation of the world will perish. But practically it is impossible. There is no other than God. That is why the design of the heaven and earth is running properly. So here, when the Holy Quran said about the punishment, not that the Holy Prophet, God forbid, did a mistake, and then the Quran will say a certain punishment about him. Actually, he mentioned, وَلَوْلَا أَنْ ثَبَّتْنَاكَ. If it was not that we have established you, we have made you to be stable in your faith and understanding. You know, the people of Mecca pressurized Prophet Muhammad ﷺ too much, and one day they came and gave that offer to Abu Talib, because Abu Talib, uncle of the Prophet, was head of Bani Hashim and was very much respected person, the most respected person among people of Mecca from social position. And they took it is a tribal area. The Prophet Muhammad being from Bani Hashim, so naturally Abu Talib, his uncle, must defend him because he is nephew. So how can he will not defend his nephew? Like the tribal areas, you know. So other tribes, if they hurt the Prophet, so actually they are hurting all the tribe of Bani Hashim, and that will create a problem. They cannot. So he said, okay, let us negotiate with his uncle, head of the tribe, to see what he wants. Why his nephew is abusing our idols and is not keeping quiet of that, and also the poor and needy people, those who are lower class people, they follow him, and he said they are equal to us. We are the rich, we are the big, we are the high people. So how come he make our slaves and we are the master the same? You know, that is not possible. So why this problem is there? So let us come and discuss with his uncle and ask him to solve the problem. So they came and they said, okay, what is the aim of your nephew? If he needs money, we'll give him. If he needs chair, whatever he needs, but he should stop arguing about our idols. Abu Talib, Radwanullahi ta'ala alayh, well, naturally, if he say no, then they say him, you are unjust, and then they try enmity against him because they said, well, he is away of his community, you know. So he has to ask the Prophet about that and see what the Prophet will answer. And he asked him that, well, these are your people, your community, people of Mecca. They are giving this offer. What do you say? Then the Prophet ﷺ gave very clear answer to Abu Talib. Ya am, wallah, لو وضع الشمس في يميني والقمر في شمالي على أن أترك هذا الأمر أو أموت دونه ما تركته. He said, oh my uncle, if they give the sun in my hand and the moon in the other hand, in my sun in my right hand and the moon in my left hand, and they ask me to leave delivering message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this affair means Islam, no, I will not leave Islam, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it apparent and expand among the people, or if I am killed, I don't mind, you know. So he was very clear in his answer. Now Abu Talib, he got the answer, and he told him, okay, امضي يا ابن أخي, you deliver your message, go ahead, don't worry, nobody will reach you as long as I am alive. I will not allow them to harm you. And really, when the Prophet ﷺ was in Mecca at the time of Abu Talib, nobody could harm the Prophet himself. They are fearing of Abu Talib. After death of Abu Talib, then they decided to kill him, and then he migrated to Medina. So Abu Talib delivered the message to them, and Abu Talib showed himself as a mediator. He did not show himself as a Muslim, so they will be enemy of Abu Talib and the Prophet. He showed himself as a mediator. He said, okay, my nephew has his own view, okay, leave him. You let him talk what he wants, you know. You do whatever you want, let him do his job as well, you know. So as a mediator, so I asked them that, okay, your offer, I gave your offer to him, but he refused. He said, no, I am a prophet and I want to deliver a message of God. And so why you are abusing? He is not hurting anybody, he is not killing or stealing or attacking or other anybody. He has his view that he is a messenger of God and he do not believe in your idols. You know, so the answer, let us say, was a diplomatic answer, so that they neither attack Abu Talib nor have an excuse to attack the Prophet himself as well, you know. So what I mean, that was very tough situation when they come, and even his uncle has to show himself that he is neutral and mediator and ask the Prophet, okay, what do you say? Well, in some books of history, they said when Abu Talib told Prophet Muhammad about that, Prophet Muhammad was very much under stress, and he started weeping and left the place. He said, I would never. He was very angry and he left it. They want to me to leave the message of Allah. I will never. Even if I am killed, I don't care. And then Abu Talib called him back. He said, come, my nephew, if that is your decision, your answer, okay, go ahead, do whatever you like. And really, Abu Talib supported him till the end of his life. Rahmatullahi alayh. However, with that, you know, the Quran said it, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has established you, has gave you a clear awareness and He made you an infallible, naturally you have not turned toward them. You had no inclination toward them. But the Quran has to mention that sometimes not only for the Prophet, but other people to hear about it. That this Prophet, what he says right from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not talking from himself, talking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if he will talk of himself, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish him. So that is one of the things which is mentioned. But that is for sake of argument and possibility, not that really the Holy Prophet went wrong somewhere or tried to incline, then Allah has stopped him. And naturally we believe all the practices of the Prophet are done by his own willpower. There is no predetermination. He has his own willpower, but because he was infallible, willingly he chose to be in the right path. So that is the meaning of the ayah. Not that what they said, it shows that he tried or he had inclined or other things. We come to another part. They said, how come infallibility goes along with certain ayahs which has little harsh tone to the Prophet? If he was infallible, then the tone of the ayah should be softer than this, But we see some of the ayahs are not that soft, so that shows he may not be infallible. That is an argument. And one of the ayahs is mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 20, said, وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ قل إن هدى الله هو الهدى ولئن اتبعت أهواءهم بعد الذي جاءك من العلم ما لك من الله من ولي ولا نصير. And the Jews will not be pleased with you nor the Christians until you follow their religion. Say surely Allah's guidance, that is the true guidance. And here the argument will come here. And if you follow their desires after the knowledge that has come to you, you shall have no guardian from Allah, nor any helper. So, this is one of the ayah, they said, how Allah will talk to His Prophet that if you follow them, and you follow their desires, their moods, while you have the knowledge, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be your helper. In another ayah, instead of your helper, you say wala waq, no protector, wala nasir, wala, and another ayah min waliyin wala waqin. Waqin means a protector. However, similar ayahs are there elsewhere in the Holy Quran. This is in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 120. Well, the answer is clear. There is a general rule in Tafsir al-Quran. In Arabic, they said, إِيَّاكَ أَعْنِي وَاسْمَعِي يَا جَارَ. That is a phrase used in Arabic. You say, I talk to you, but I need others to hear. You are not the one meant. I know that you know the subject, but then I talk to you so that others will hear what I am talking and they should know the facts, not you. Many ayahs of the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk to the Prophet. But the one who is meant to hear and to listen and to understand are the Muslims themselves, or the general human beings, to know about it. Now there are many Jews and Christians in Medina. There were many of them, and they had certain argument and there were dialogue with the Prophet among them. And they try, all of them, they tried that the Prophet may follow them, become Jew or become Christian, rather than to bring a new religion, and that is Islam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him that, tell them that the real guidance is the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I am following Islam, which is the revelation of Allah, and that is the final religion of Allah for mankind. And then the Holy Quran said, and if you follow them, naturally Allah will not support you. This is if, but that if is not happening and never happened. Naturally, if, then others should know that if the Prophet will deviate little, then Allah will not help him. But he never deviated, and Allah was always in his support. So the word here, if you, does not mean he already deviated. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows he has never done that. But still, the ayah want to clarify certain point, that the Prophet being a human being, and he has his emotions, he has his mood, he has his ideas, that always, like other human beings, he might be under influence of others. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him and always tell him so that the people knows that he will never follow his own desires or his own mood or his own emotions. Actually, even his own emotions are made infallible because he know very clearly, he know the fact. As we discuss about the infallibility, it comes when you have very clear knowledge about the bad effect of the sin. When you have very clear knowledge, you will never think to disobey or go away. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell these like certain warnings, or let us say the tone maybe not very soft, because others should hear about it and should know that if the Prophet, Allah will criticize him if he goes wrong, then what about ordinary people? So naturally, if they go wrong, they should not say, no, Allah will not question us. So Allah will question everybody. I will question you. So when he talked to his Prophet, you should listen, and as an ordinary person, you are not infallible, you are sinful, so you have to always ask Allah for forgiveness and do not be proud that you will be safe and no one will question you. Well, the second ayah in Surah Al-Isra, ayah 86, وَلَئِنْ شِئْنَا لَنَذْهَبَنَّ بِالَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ ثُمَّ لَا تَجِدُ لَكَ بِهِ عَلَيْنَا وَكِيلًا. And if we please, we should certainly take away that which we have revealed to you, then you would not find for it any protector against us. Again here, the ayah came with if, conditional. And if we are pleased, if we want, if Allah wants, then He can take the revelation from you, and you will not have any supporter in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No protector, no supporter. But that again, if has not happened, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell him so that other Muslims knows that he is a human being. Well, some of these tones about the prophets, as Allama Tabatabai said in his exegesis of the Holy Quran, Al-Mizan, he said, why Allah used this tone about the prophets? About Prophet Adam or Prophet Noah or other prophets? The answer he gave, because the prophets were such a great human beings, some of the people might have misunderstanding that they are God, they are not a human being. And practically that happened. Well, the Christians said about Jesus as God. Some of the Muslims, Alawis, said about Imam Ali as God. And so on, Even some others said about Imams as God, So that might happen, and it's already happened. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to tell the people always that though the prophets are very great in humanity, are infallible, their morality is very high, their piety is very high, their ethics are very high, that is true, but they are after all human beings. And if they disobey, then they will face punishment of Allah. But because they are infallible, they will never think to disobey and will never disobey. So the tone here is that only as possibility, not on reality. Reality did not happen and never happens. But possibility that if we want, we can remove what we have revealed to you. But did Allah remove what He revealed to the Prophet? No. Naturally, Allah did not want that, because the Prophet was infallible all his life and did not disobey. And we see in Ayah 87, the same after that Ayah 86, إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَبِّكَ إِنَّ فَضْلَهُ كَانَ عَلَيْكَ كَبِيرًا. But on account of mercy from your Lord, surely His grace to you is abundant. So if it is rahmatan min rabbik, if Allah wanted to criticize or abuse the Prophet, He will not say it is mercy from Allah. Mercy will not come with criticism. So the tone is not tone of really criticism or harsh tone, tone of possibilities, so that the people should know the greatness of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and follow what the Prophet say, believe what the Prophet say, and should know what the Prophet say is not saying on his own, he's saying what has been revealed to him, and that is mercy of Allah to him, that he will never get inclination, will never get trend to deviate or to think or to come toward anything wrong, and he is always infallible. So these are some of the ayahs. There are still many more, inshallah, we will discuss in the next session. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum.